Are you living your passion? What is your passion? Welcome to the Luxe Life Discovered podcast, where we talk with people who are living a lifestyle that reflects their passion, because we believe everyone should enjoy living their best life, their Luxe Life.
Hello, I'm Rick Steiner. Welcome back to Luxe Life Discovered. My guests today are Ray and Brittany Kelly, and they are with Lillian Light Photography. So we welcome you guys to the podcast.
Thank you for having us on.
We're excited.
So tell me about Lillian Light. Now, you guys were also previously BRL Photography. For those who don't know, we'll make sure everybody gets that connection together. But tell us a little bit about the recent name change and what led to that and that type of information.
So when we were originally BRL Photography, it was kind of my little plaything. I bought a DSLR for the first time in 2018, late 2018, and just originally wanted to do real estate photography and landscape photography. And one way or another, it blossomed into something that was completely different, and now we only do weddings, family portraits, people on vacation, and like business headshots.
That's a little different than landscape.
Yeah. And now that it's not just me doing it, it's a whole family thing.
Yeah.
Our daughter does as well. So we figured changing the name would be a little bit more appropriate to fit what we're actually doing.
Okay, that's great, yeah. So speaking of your daughter, she's 6 years old, and she is really thinking about photography already.
Yeah, she loves it.
She just got her first camera.
Yeah,
She's excited,
I saw the picture on Instagram. She's getting her camera out. That's pretty cool, though. That is. And so what interesting pictures has she taken so far? Has she really tried? Or can you tell? Yeah, no. So.
You can tell. She does some pretty good stuff.
She's got them in focus, which is better than I do sometimes.
Right.
But a lot of times it's a picture of my back or pictures of our feet, and she's still kind of getting the idea. She loves to pose us and say, okay, I need your hand here, and look up this way, and then look down at me. She's really coming into her own on it.
I wonder where she's heard that from.
I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. My nephew, when he was born, we were at the hospital, and this has been, 30-something years ago. But that's back when we had to get film developed. So, I had my camera, take all these pictures of crazy situations in the waiting room and all that. Take the camera the next day, just drop it off because I can't get the film to come out, to rewind. Leave my camera and let them take care of it, And they call me and they're like, Rick, there's no film in the camera. I'm like, you're kidding me. So that's why the film wouldn't rewind, There was no film in there, but I had taken some great pictures, It's like nobody will ever know what they were, but it was fun that night. So, But so how did you guys get into the photography?
Honestly, that's a really funny story, actually. I was at my old job that I was at for 8 years, and I got an email from him asking me to invest money into him buying a camera so he could go play and do landscape photography. So we went back and forth on this email thread on whether he could have $5,000 or not.
Oh, not just a little bit of money. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But I told him he had to buy me all of these dresses. If he wanted a camera, he was going to take photos of me in these dresses. And really, I just wanted new clothes.
Right, yeah. You have to work to your advantage, yeah.
So, she's very good at that.
So really, that's interesting then.
So
you
he was
got
just
the
looking
camera.
for a hobby at first, and it turned into this. And I'm honestly super grateful because I've found really what I love to do. It's a passion of mine, and I never knew that I had something that I had such a passion for. I didn't realize that I had anything like that, and especially in the career field, to be able to find something that I can work and do and love to do at the same time.
And do it with your spouse.
Yeah. It's like the perfect thing, and I never thought it would happen for us. So I'm super grateful that he asked me for that $5,000.
Right. And you're grateful she said yes. Yeah. So
it was a good investment.
So your love for photography then, you obviously thought about it before then or had some interest or...
This episode of Luxe Life Discovered is brought to you in part by Steiner Event Group. Steiner Event Group is a national event planner that produces results for their clients. They offer event and wedding planning on any scale, hosting bridal shows, scouting talented models, and producing riveting concept photo shoots to help their clients expand their brands, products, and services. Whether you're a business professional aiming to take your brand to the next level, planning a corporate or private event, a bride seeking to have the wedding of your dreams, or a model ready to be discovered, Steiner Event Group is ready for you.
Well, I used to be a chef, and I'm used to taking pictures of food all the time, and ended up getting out of it due to a couple family situations. But I'd always taken pictures of the specials and the things that I'd created. I always liked the artistic side of it, and I never knew that I was a creative person until I got out of cooking, and then instantly started wanting to do something else that's creative. So it snowballed a little bit. We were actually at her birthday party a couple years ago, and some friends of friends were there, and they said, well, we just got engaged, and we haven't had photos done yet. So I agreed to do their photos for free. I almost threw up the entire way out there. And then we went to Camp Helen out on 30A, took the pictures down by the old pier.
Thinking the whole time, why in the world did I do? Yeah.
Yep. And the entire drive back, I'm on the phone with her. I was like, I blew it. It's going to be absolute trash. There's nothing good here. And we start looking at the photos, and it ended up that I didn't do quite as bad as I thought I did.
Still actually some of our favorite photos that he's taken yet, and that was his first photo shoot.
Right, wow.
Yeah, so it turned into no people whatsoever. I just want to take pictures of things to give me all the kids, all the families, all the happy moments, the engagements, things like that. So it's different than what we anticipated, but it's one of those good turns that you weren't expecting.
Right. So now how long that's been? When was that?
2.5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So still a new company then.
Yeah.
Or even with the name change, still the whole background's new. So that's good.
Yeah. It's coming along pretty well. We're really excited to see where the next couple of years take us. I feel like we've come pretty far in 2.5 years. I am a very, very technical person, so I think that's helped me out a lot with photography, and she is extremely detail-oriented. So
I would say your attention to detail is huge. So, yeah.
Yep. So with her, she's the one that's kind of changed everything, made us more of a business rather than a hobby, and pretty much everything is thanks to her.
Us working together, honestly, he has everything I don't, and I have everything he doesn't. So it just makes perfect business.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And, it's amazing, too, just doing the podcast, but then, you meet people over the years. So many people that have been successful in another profession or job, for example, and then they kind of discover their passion, which is what this whole podcast is about, discovering your passion, you're living your best life, your Luxe life. And it sounds like you guys are prime examples of that.
Yeah.
We've been pretty lucky so far.
Well, good. Well, you guys, we all did a photo shoot together recently, a concept shoot, and the sneak peek pictures, oh my goodness.
We're actually working on them today. We were doing that all day today. Yeah.
Good. But now the sneak peeks were super impressive, and it's hard for me not want to share everything because I want to wait till we have all the pictures. So I'm trying to be patient. I'm not being patient. I'm just trying to be patient not to post because it gets me excited because it was great. You guys did a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
My favorite thing is all I did was push a button. You kind of made everything a little easier by getting everything together.
Well,
having all the best vendors in the area really helped, and the way we had it set up and everything, it was beautiful.
Our vendors that day were exceptional.
It was great. Yes.
In fact, we had an artist from 30A on a few minutes ago, and she's like, hey, do you have any vases? I need vases for my grand opening. So I said, no, but I can call somebody in Pensacola. She goes, well, it's last minute. She won't be able to help me. So I called Christina, and so they'll put them in touch, and so they're going to get all that worked out for a grand opening. So it's all about networking and meeting the people that share that same passion, the same level of commitment that what you bring to your craft, you want, like me, you want that in the people you associate with. So, yeah.
100%.
So now, do you do videography as well?
We do, or we have in the past. We're actually trying to move away from it because we really want to focus on photography. We want to hone the craft as much as possible and really focus on moving into more interesting photos, more artsy, I guess would be the word, rather than just your typical. So we want to really focus all our time on photography instead of trying to put too many hats out there. We want to.
And that's happened so many times because, I know some people that try to do 2 or 3 different aspects rather than they think they can make more money by doing that. And sometimes the work suffers in the process from whatever business they were in originally because, you can only do so much. There's enough work for everybody. There's enough, be strong in what you bring in your talent because that's going to stand out more than anything. Yeah. So. And, of course, by the time this airs, my bridal show will be over, but you guys will be at my bridal show, which I'm very excited about that.
Very too.
Very excited for the brides to see your work. And, hopefully it's going to lead to 2022 being super booked for you guys, and you know,
I think it will.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking looking at 2023 last night, and like I've got some events and a couple of weddings on the books for then, and it's like this is crazy. And then we were talking to Dave Griffin with the Sheridan this morning, and he's like, we have some corporate clients that do business with them annually who had stopped during COVID. He said, but we're back on the books. They're back on the books through 2027. Nice. And I'm thinking, it's amazing how the different aspects of the business and the industry, the booking and all that goes into it. So,
Yep.
It really is.
So what do you think, what's the most rewarding part about what you do?
For you or me?
Well, each of you. How's that? Yeah.
Let you go.
For me, really, I'm a very emotional person, and capturing the moment of emotion for someone that can't actually see what their emotion looks like is huge for me. I love it. Like it can be happy, sad, whatever it is. I'll follow you through the whole day, and it makes me so happy just to watch all of the emotions, especially on a wedding day. It's just there's so many ups and downs, and you get to be right there with them. It's like you're following their own little trailer, I guess, of a movie for their love story, and it's fun for me. I love it.
It's good.
Yep. Yeah. I love whenever somebody's really insecure in front of a camera. I am. I hate sitting right here right now. No cameras on me. But I love when someone's insecure and the first thing they say to me is like, I'm not good in front of a camera. 3 minutes into it, I'll show them a picture on the back of the camera, and you can see their entire demeanor change. They go from kind of slumped over like this and nervous to shoulders back, and they're excited, and they're like, okay, what can we do next? And that's my favorite part, is seeing people feel confident and happy and get that renewed self of their self.
Well, you guys brought that out with Crew and Chrissy on the shoot. Yeah. So because I call him G Crew now, because every time I ask him, I say, "How's G Crew doing?" But they had a blast. Oh my gosh,
they did have so much fun.
Yeah. I think they're ready to go again. So I'm like, just get your wedding plan. We just got to get engaged first and all that. But we'll all be there. I told them that. I said, whether you hire us or we just come as guests, we will be there.
Yep.
So yeah, but that was such, and a large part of that too is you guys made them feel comfortable, made them feel special, and that's a gift in itself, because like you were talking, most bride and grooms some haven't been in front of a camera before, and to give them that boost, and especially on their special day, and then to have the pictures to reflect that's huge.
Yeah, it means a lot to us to be able to capture these moments, because they're things you can't get back. The music stops playing at some point, and it's already eaten, but in 30 years they can bring their granddaughter up on their lap and open their wedding album and show them their pictures, and inevitably the the granddaughter's gonna freak out and say, "Grandma, you're so beautiful. The dress is gorgeous." And those are the moments that kind of get us every time and get us excited to do the next wedding.
Right. Well, that's good. So how many weddings do you think you'll do in 2021?
We're hoping between 20 and 25.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we're shooting for.
Because we do shoot a lot of families also.
Right.
So we want to stay right around 20 or 25, just so we can really focus on those weddings and just knock them out of the park.
With By the Sea Resorts, you have so many options you never have to settle. By the Sea Resorts offers 5 restaurants and 11 hotels where you can enjoy the sights and the sounds of the Gulf, spread out in spacious guest rooms. Or book your next event or meeting in one of our many customizable spaces. For dining, we're serving up sunshine and good times at all 3 of our Barefoot restaurant locations. Or experience waterfront dining at the Shrimp Boat Restaurant. And enjoy live entertainment every weekend at House of Bourbon. By the Sea Resorts. We're saving you a front row seat.
Right. Rather have good quality and not just all about numbers and just, So that's kind of why with my events and the weddings as well, because I don't want to say this, is not that I don't want to work, but I don't want to work every weekend and have every weekend consumed with that.
Right.
And speaking of that, you guys went on a nice little trip that I'm still jealous about seeing the pictures. I just thought about that. Yeah.
Which one?
Well,
Yeah.
We're always gone.
I know that's true. You're right. Yeah.
That's the only reason we work, is so we can afford to go on vacations.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, the one out west.
Yeah.
That was.
Oh yes, the summer one.
Love that. Yeah.
We took the whole month of July off. We bought a camper and drove out started in Utah, went all throughout Utah, down into Arizona, the Grand Canyon, New Mexico, Texas. It was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of fun to be able to take our daughter along.
Yeah,
and let her see some things that took me 30 years to be able to see.
Exactly.
Things I still had never seen.
Yeah.
Really,
And
that was your first trip? Yeah.
For Arizona and Utah.
Wow, and that's such a beautiful area. It's
It was
just amazing. All the different
mind-blowing.
formations and, just the landscape, the beautiful picture. You can't just, and pictures don't really do it justice. That's the
true.
thing about it. So you look at a picture, oh, that's beautiful. Like anything around Sedona. Looks great in pictures, but it's not that true vibrant, like the reds.
When you get there, it's
it's
so
amazing.
much better.
Yeah, it
we
is.
spent 3 days in Sedona and absolutely loved it. It was stunning. The architecture out there is gorgeous. The landscape is gorgeous. People seemed happy. It was a really good trip.
Well, if you ever go back and hike, there are beautiful areas to hike all around the Oak Creek Canyon.
We did that one. We did.
Did
do
you
Oak
really?
Creek. That's where that little creek was that we went swimming in.
Yeah,
We hiked the whole time.
Okay,
It was fun.
good deal. Yeah, it's a beautiful area. I went out. It's been years ago. I'm trying to think when it was, but anyway, stayed at a resort there right in the middle of town called Los Abrigados, and went out with a group and we hiked in different areas every day for a week. And we were going up one mountain. I can't think what it was called, but we could see Mount Humphreys and Flagstaff. And you can see that it was in June, but you can see the snow on top of the mountain there. And, to be able to see that far in a clear day, it was just, I don't know, it was just amazing. So,
It is. It really is.
So what's the next, of course, we have the new name change and all of that. So what's next for Lily and Light?
Honestly, we're just going to continue to grow and get better every single day. We're just competing with ourselves every day just to be better. And we are going to another training for a week in Vegas at the end of February, actually right after the bridal show.
Just happens to be in Vegas. Huh?
We go to that one every year. It's a really good one. It's photographers that have been in the business for 20 to 30 years that are teaching classes, and there's 300 classes that you can go to. And
do
we
y'all
learn
split
so
up
much.
and go to different classes or try to go? Yeah.
But this will be our first year going together. He went the first year, I went the second year. And now we're going to go together and take her. So it'll be fun.
Didn't know if you split up and conquer, but then, or divide and conquer the way the saying goes. But at the same time, then it's kind of like you don't want to miss something. That
It's
like
hard.
if she's going to a class that you really like, just say, look, you need to go to a different class.
You need to go away.
She takes really good notes, though. She's very
Well, that's
detailed,
good. Yeah, okay.
So I've got that to lean on.
That's good. Well, that'll be interesting then. And, that's another thing, too, that a lot of people, especially when you work for yourself, that take for granted. It's like they think, I can't take the time off or I can't use the resources to go do that. But on the flip side of that, if you don't do that research and don't network and do that, you kind of get lost in everything changes so much. And, to be able to keep up with the change, not the fads, but,
The trends.
the trends, yeah. So it makes a difference. But then what I like about you guys too, you keep up with the trends, but at the same time, you're most focused on the uniqueness of the couple you're working with, and that's huge.
Yeah, we really focus on what they want out of it. It's their day, and we do have our style of editing, but we want to make sure we capture every special moment to them. If we had one bride that had her granddad's shirt sewn in the inside of her dress, like in the shape of a heart, and she wanted that photograph. So just making sure that we communicate with them up until the wedding day on all of the things that are super important to them, and we capture those moments.
And communication is key.
Yes.
Yeah. I have a bride who is upset with her photographer because she didn't get a lot of the pictures she wanted because she was told that, hey, this is not on my schedule and this is what I want for her portfolio. And my bride was like, I wasn't interested in her portfolio. And she shouldn't have been. She was
Especially if
the
you're
one
paying her.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's maybe some miscommunication on their part in the beginning. I don't know. But that, I like I said, the personal touches that you guys bring is professional. It's great. And so I would, as I have in the past, recommend you to anybody that would contact me about needing a photographer. That's for sure.
We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Anytime
I would
we're
definitely
talking-
do the same for you.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Anytime we're talking to a couple, we normally do like a pre-booking phone call just to get a feel, make sure they like us, we like them. We always tell them at the end, do your research, look at other photographers. At the end of the day, this is one of the most important days of your life, and it's really important for you to feel comfortable and understand what you're getting into and who's going to be providing the service for you. Because at the end of the day, if you're not happy, it's going to show in the photos. So we
definitely.
like people to really do research and find the right person. And
Right.
luckily, we've been the right person most of the time, I think. So
Yeah, I'm sure you have been. Yeah. So, and then also you know this is true too. Like when people call in, they're just like looking for a price point. Then you know you're going to have issues at some point because you're never going to, for those people, you're never going to have the right price point. And then if you negotiate any, they're going to expect more negotiations later. That's one of the things I've learned. I'm just trying to pass on a little tip to you. Don't ever sacrifice your worth to meet a goal.
We learned that too the hard way.
Yeah, I learned it the hard way too. Trust me. Kind of reminded sometime. You know, it's like, oh, I almost made that mistake. You know, so yeah. But so besides just growing, what do you see like 5 years from now? What would you like the company to be?
Well,
or to
since we spend so much of our time when we're not shooting on vacation, we'll probably never be rich and never have a house in the Hamptons, but we spend
be a
most
good
of our
place to shoot though.
It would, I wouldn't mind that at all. I think we really want to get into destination wedding photography.
Okay.
It would be amazing to shoot a wedding in Santorini or in South Africa, Bali. I think Bali would be pretty cool.
That would be.
But yeah, getting into destination wedding photography, it's something we've already talked about, like what we would do if that took off and how we'd handle having our daughter miss school for probably half the year if we'd need a tutor or a private teacher. So that's kind of where we'd like to go in the future. But right now, 30A, Panama City Beach, Bay County in general is kind of a hard place to beat.
Yeah.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
And even though it's not a destination going somewhere else, it's somebody else's
It
destination.
is a destination.
Yeah. So,
I think we'll always still be here because we just fit here.
Yeah.
But we want to travel more too and be able to photograph new places, if that makes sense. Just have the different scenery, the mountains or.
Right. Not just all beach, but there's nothing wrong with that for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, there's a family that my wife follows. I don't know if it's called Bucket List Family or have you ever, it's a mother and father and 3 children, and they travel all over the world. Okay. I mean, like constantly. I don't know who sponsors them. I want to figure that out. Because
I do too.
I'll see if I can find out about that. But, that made me think about that because those kids can never be in a normal school setting because they just go around to different places. And they're the happiest family. They always look great. I mean,
Bucket list family.
What's that?
The bucket list family.
Yeah, the bucket list. It is the bucket list family. So, so check that out. And that could be like your
that's a goal.
Yeah.
That's a goal.
But they go to some amazing places. It's just unreal. And like I said, they're doing something because they've got some great sponsors or somebody in their family worked really hard previously and they're providing the way. I don't know, but still.
I always wonder how people do that.
I know. If I did it, my bucket list would be a bucket, and I'd be at home in the backyard. That's all I'd have. So
I wish my great uncle was last name Vanderbilt, but
I know. So I didn't have to have a big name, just have the money. No, but I know what you're saying on that. So, well, good. We're at the end. Well, beginning of 2022 here. What would be one thing this year that you would like to see happen? Is there anything that you like stands out that, or a wedding or something, some type that you want to shoot? Yeah, that you maybe haven't shot before.
This episode of Luxe Life Discovered is brought to you in part by Orville's Men's Store. Thank you, Orville's Men's Store, for supplying the men's clothing for today's podcast. For the absolute best in casual and dress wear for men, visit orvillesms.com. That's ORVILLESMS.com.
I think there's a lot that we want to do.
I'd love to do a wedding at Alice Beach.
That was the first one I was going to say.
A truly magnificent location. They went above and beyond with everything there. That's one of my favorite locations in Florida. Anywhere on 30A is absolutely gorgeous. But I think doing a wedding, like a gorgeous wedding at Alice Beach would be probably top of my list.
Like all that's completely decked out with everything that that they have there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I think maybe that bride and groom wouldn't like me so much because I'd spend so much time like, no, you guys can dance later. Let's go take more pictures.
yeah, it's like, this isn't about you. No, it's like,
Yeah, I'm going to turn into the
right.
portfolio.
This is my portfolio.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, we're joking about that, of course, but my wife will remind me sometimes when I talk to a bride or to the bride's mother, because we had a wedding that, we'll just say it changed from one venue to another because of COVID. Mm-hmm. And the first venue was like my portfolio dream. And then I went to a venue that was completely different. I can't say anything more than that because I don't want to give it away. But my wife, when I got the phone, she goes, "This is their wedding." And I'm just like, but that was my portfolio. You know, it's like, it's really not about them. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. But you do, you know, of course, we're all professionals. So we want that ideal look in the portfolio and that type thing. So, but I do have a wedding there this year. So we're good. Yeah. So we're good. Just took a little longer. No.
I think one of the cooler weddings that we're going to have this year would be, well, we're doing a wedding at Doak Campbell, which is FSU's stadium. We get to do the wedding on the field, and the entire reception will be in I think it's called the President's Club upstairs. So it's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
Yeah, we actually met them at another bridal show last year, and everyone was following them around, saying once everyone found out that they were doing their wedding on the field at Doak Campbell, everyone was just like, "We don't care what the price is. Like, we'll take any amount of money off, we'll do it for free." And
really, so it's that
people were offering.
Yeah, they're pretty excited.
We did not, but people were offering.
Yeah, we still have bills to pay.
Right, exactly. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but it was. I think that's going to be one of the more unique weddings we'll do this year, or probably in a little while.
Well, you know, it's always interesting. Everything always works out the way it should. There was a wedding in Bentonville, Arkansas that we did have to reschedule because of COVID. It was supposed to be at Crystal Bridges Museum, which it's a museum in Northwest Arkansas that, you know, you think, well, what kind of museum is there? Well, this is the kind that has Alice Walton's $1 billion art collection in it. And so she has pieces in her art collection, sculptures that galleries around the world would love to have, and are upset that she has them and they're in her private possession in Arkansas. All right. And so so the wedding was going to be there, and then COVID came, and then we postponed it for a couple months, and then we couldn't get the exact number on who we could have there, and it was time to pay the vendors, and my bride's mother is like, you know, I don't want to pay the full amount to these vendors when I don't know if we're going to have a wedding. So we canceled the wedding there, and they were great to work with on that. And then we moved it to a barn in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Yeah. And when the mother told me she was in a barn, I said, it's where? I'm thinking Crystal Bridges.
Opposite.
Yes. And she's like, it's in a barn. And I was like, we do have a concrete floor in the barn, right? And she's like, yes. I said, well, I'm going to go up next week and look at it. So and then once it was all done, all of our vendors stayed on board, and we had a great group of vendors, which made a huge difference. Yeah. And that wedding went from like 500 person down to 118. Oh my gosh! But it was the most the venue. The rehearsal dinner was on site at this old bread and breakfast, and we did the rehearsal dinner there. The reception was, you know, in the barn, and the ceremony and everything, and then they had guest cottages there and the main house. So all the bridal party and family stayed on site, and they just rented the whole thing for the weekend. Oh, and you know, hindsight, it couldn't have been a more perfectly planned event if we tried to do it from the beginning. I don't think if we tried from the beginning, it would have turned out as neatly. Yep. But and those pictures are some of my favorite. And my wife was like, remember, that's a barn, because she knows that just like eats at me, you know. So but it was a beautiful barn. So yeah. So sometimes things don't go exactly as we planned, but sometimes it's the most special ones we remember. So
everything happens for a reason, and
definitely
it works out when it's supposed to work out. Yep.
True. Well, guys, our time is up already. It's hard to believe it. It just went by quick. So I do appreciate you both coming in. So.
Thank you very much for having us.
We've had a blast, and we're super excited to work with you in the future. And we're glad that we've gotten in touch with you over the last year, and it's been awesome.
It's good. And, you know, like we said earlier, you like working with people that have the same mindset and care about what they do and the passion. So, All right. Well, good deal. Thank you so much for joining us today. That's our edition for Luxe Life Discovered, and we will be back with another edition soon, and we look forward to seeing you.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and want to support our show, leave us a review. That's the #1 way to help this show reach others just like you.
Join us next time for another Luxe Life Discovered.